What is going on, everybody? We're back. What's up, Apeng Rayhan? What's up, AMGD, Noza, the Spaniardo, Michael, Cody, HVAC, Fritmore, Simon. Mbappe is the king of being offsides. But yeah, he's good. What's up, Angle? What's up, Joe? How's everyone doing? What's up, Charles? We are finally back. That's right. We are back. Yeah, it was a pretty depressing game. I'm bummed out. I think Yogi Löw needs to be out of there. And I don't love our chances at making it through the group stage now. Tying would have been really nice, but kind of a bummer. The fact that it was an own goal is kind of what sucks. But it is what it is. What's up, Spaceman? No problem, bro. I still need to check out the market profile indicator, but it looks pretty sweet. All right, guys. Let's jump into it. Hopefully everyone has been doing well. Hopefully you guys have been thriving in this market. While I was away, I had my laptop and we posted a couple recorded videos, and we made some good money from it. So a quick recap, as much as my memory will allow. Entered along here, but my stop loss was pretty wide. After this happened, I bought some more down here and TP'd half of it here at resistance. Didn't get a compound quite yet at that point. Actually, we might have TP'd all of it. And then on the weekly open flip, let me try and pull that chart up. Cause you sure you're German? I've posted a picture of my passport on Twitter like 20 times because no one believes me. I have a German mother and I have a American father. I am a German citizen, but I've spoke English and German my entire life. And so I don't have an accent really, or at all. So that's the story. If you still don't believe me, I don't know what to tell you. Sorry, I'm trying to pull something up on my other monitor. I think it was back here. Come on. Oh my gosh, whatever. What club do I support? I support Dortmund. Okay, sorry for that delay. I couldn't even find what I wanted to look for, but basically, the video I posted on Tuesday, I said I want to see these guys taken out, and drew something like this, and we broke below the weekly open. Even if you kind of got faked out a little bit and entered right there, your stop loss would have been here, and then this was the nice flip right there, and we shot right away. So longed here, took profit here, longed here, took profit here. We've pretty much nailed this entire move. We've been bullish the entire time since June 7th or June 8th. And now that we are at 41K, all of crypto Twitter is euphoric and they're screaming long and screaming buy. And I just don't love it. I feel like it's kind of irresponsible to be doing that right now. Like either you were longing in these spots, even a play here, but it's like now, really? You're going to tell people to long after we just swept this high right into one of the most key resistance levels in the chart? That's irresponsible. So that kind of annoys me a little bit, but CT is going to CT. They're going to do their thing. And there's not much we can do about that, but I think it was very easy to tell today who is on Twitter for engagement and who is there to try and help people. And the people that were screaming for you to get long above 40K, at 41K, I think are there for engagement. Could we do something like this? Yes. And if we do, then I will be bullish around 41K. But right now I'm not, because we're testing this level from the downside. We just swept that high, and I think it's kind of foolish to be longing right after this sweep. As always, though, I could be wrong. But if you do this 9 out of 10 times, I think you're going to lose money. Right? And also it's hard to tell what people on Twitter, like what the time frame is of what they're saying. Like, do I think a year from now any buy in here is going to be good? Yes, I do. I'm very bullish on Bitcoin long term. I think buying spot in this region, if your goal is to hold it for years, you'll have some good entries. But I'm talking about leverage trading. We have a pretty clear range right here, and we just swept the range high. If we break below here, it's GG's for the rest of the week. I'll literally just be looking to short for the rest of the week, targeting the monthly open and down here. Right? So it could go up from here. I'm just never going to tell you to long this setup. If we do this, then the people who bought resistance are going to get rewarded, and so be it. They'll go broke over a long enough period of time. So, yeah, that's my little rant for today, because it is kind of annoying to see people tell others to long when we have literally bounced 33% in the last week. It's like, where were those people during this? Why didn't they tell you to long this? Why are they telling you to long right now? So that's a little bit annoying, but I just want to give you that warning, and I advise you to just mute or unfollow people that do that, because it will get to your head. It will have an impact on you, even if you think that it won't. I think even subconsciously, if you see a bunch of people really bullish on Twitter, I mean, unless you kind of know to not listen to them, it will have an effect on you. So that's just how it goes. You know, like we see this all the time. We joke about it all the time because it just happens over and over and over again. People get really bullish here. They tell you, the bull run's back, the bull run's back. We're going straight to 50K. And those same people are down here saying, we're in a bear market, we're going straight to 20K. So it's really easy to spot these kind of people once you kind of realize this. Look at the difference in CT sentiment when we're between 40 and 42 versus when we're between 30 and 32, 33. Whatever it is. Like, I don't know. It just annoys me because when I first started trading years ago and I see everyone super bullish, in my head, I already would have a bullish bias because of that. And I just don't want that to happen to other people. So that's my little rant. That's my little heart-to-heart, I guess. It just pisses me off. Maybe I'm just in a bad mood because Germany lost. No, it's not over. We'll be all right. Maybe. Probably not. All right. Where am I from? It's a really complicated question. I've spent time living in Germany. I've spent time living in the States. I've spent time living in West Africa. So, all right, let's get into the analysis. I kind of want to post something about this rant on Twitter, if I can sum it up in however many 240 characters, just to kind of give people a warning. But let's focus on the stream for now. Appreciate you all for being here. Forgot to do this at the beginning, but shout out to Bybit. They sponsor these streams. Thanks to them, I can do all this on a regular basis completely for free. Some people want a paid group. Some people have a signal service. I would rather you guys be able to consume this content for free, and thanks to Bybit, we can do that. So if you'd like to support me and support the stream, you can check out the Bybit link in the description. But with that being said, let's get started. I'm 23 years old, West Africa, because I was a missionary kid there. My parents were doing medical work. So when I was a kid, I lived in Africa. When I was like 10 to 15 in there. So high time frame. I'm going to say this in pretty much every stream, but it's worth updating, especially for people that are new to the stream. Nothing has happened other than ranging over the past, how long has this been? Almost 2 months? No, my math's off. Almost 1 month. Probably draw it something like this, but we're looking to trade levels within the range. I think this is pretty clean too, but the problem is that wick is different on every exchange. But you get the idea. We have just been chopping around in this range for a month, and I kind of think we will keep doing that for another month or 2 months. I don't know exactly how long it's going to be, but my main expectation is continued ranging. We saw so much volatility here, and I think if this is the bottom, the best thing that can happen is just accumulation within this range for an extended period of time. After we get something like that, I would expect us to resume the bull run. So if you ask me if I think prices will be higher by the end of 2021, I would say yes. But I honestly hope we range for like 3 months, because I like trading a range more than anything else, and I think we can just completely milk this area, compound our total Bitcoin, and just keep making money. So main scenarios I'm looking for. I do think we are kind of topped out here. I think this is our nice little consolidation. We just took the range high, and we have confluence from this high. If this breaks down below the weekly open, I will be even more confident that the top is in. I entered a short on this hourly close, so I'm short from 40.5K, and my stop loss is at this high. I don't know if it's going to go straight down from here, but I'm basically just following and trusting my system because it was a pretty textbook Monday's high sweep. I think that's Monday. Let me just double check. Yeah. Okay. So we have Monday's range, a bunch of untapped lows down here. We took out the high. Now we're resting on the mid-range. If we lose the mid-range, I expect us to go to the range low. And if we break below this range low in the weekly open, I'll be looking here, I'll be looking here, and I'll be looking at this region. Let me make sure this line, I'm going to put my magnet on so this is actually in the right spot. So this is last week's weekly open, and I think it's a pretty clean SR level to target for shorts, because it was nice support here, resistance there, we broke through, and it's also, if you want to draw a little block here, it is the origin of this pump. So I like that as a target for price. I would be looking for longs here at 36K and at like 33.5. This is all the downside scenario. We'll talk about an upside scenario. Like, I think it is possible we just range in here and then push up for the next leg. So we'll talk about that after though. The two main areas I would want a long, like I said, 36-ish, 34, 33-ish. I think we could take out all the stops below there and then do something like that. I think that would be a pretty nice long setup. I think the monthly open is a nice level to take some profit on a short, but I wouldn't necessarily long that immediately. Like, I wouldn't set limits there, but we'll see. Right now we're just kind of planning for some scenarios. So I am short, but that doesn't mean this has to come back. I just think a lot of things are lining up here. We're at the range high. Crypto Twitter's feeling pretty euphoric. We went up 33% in a week from wick to wick. So it wouldn't surprise me to at least cool off or pull back a bit. Right, so we might do something like this, and it could push up again. So if it does, let's start with that scenario. If this does push up again, I would be stopped out of this short, unless I caught it earlier than that. We'll see how this 4-hourly candle closes in a couple hours. But if we push up, I would be looking to short around these highs. And if we really do get like a nice breakout, retest, and hold this area and then keep pushing up, like, then we can start talking about going to 50K. But around this 42, 43K, like 41 to 43K, I am more interested in shorting. I know that might go against your or everyone's emotion because we did just pump a lot. It feels right to be bullish, but like I said at the beginning of this video, this is where we want to short. This is where we want to long. I'm not in any longs anymore. This setup from last week, I took full profit up here. Well, I had taken 50% off here, closed the other 50% here. So all my longs are closed. I'm just in one short. And if I get stopped out, it's all good. We lose 1R, and I would be looking for something like this. And it would just be a wider stop loss. But if we do take out that high, I think we pretty much take out all the liquidity from this range because you can see we continually were leaving highs until we finally swept this one here. And now We swept this high there and this one, and so kind of the last objective that I see are these ones right there for now. And then we can kind of talk about unswept lows. Because in a range, we just look for price to push from liquidity to liquidity. However, like because I am short here, I do kind of think we go down first before taking those last highs. Something like this, and then back up, take those highs, and then we come back down and take out some lows. Like we literally just want to keep milking this range over and over and over again for as long as it works. Like I tweeted saying that I think we keep going from like 33 to 40K and bleed back down, and someone responded saying, isn't that what we just did? Because we did do that right here. And it's like, yes, but that's what I think we're going to keep on doing over and over again until it stops working. So other people are calling for range breakouts here, and as much as I would like Bitcoin to break out and go back to up only mode, I need price to prove it to me. And for it to do that, I would want to see a breakout above all these levels, not just a stop run, retest this area, and then just keep on ranging. So I wouldn't want to like leave limits right there because I want to see what happens. Do I only trade Bitcoin? No. I trade Ethereum quite a lot, and I trade alts quite a bit as well, but I haven't been looking at them as much right now because I do think it is kind of BTC season. Did the stream just cut out? Am I still here? Yeah, okay. I think we're still good. This had been going down for so long, and this portion of time was basically alt season, where alts were taking a bunch of the market cap from Bitcoin. And I know dominance is kind of a meme because any altcoin can be created, and then that would take market share away from Bitcoin, but I still think it can be kind of useful. So because this has been going straight down, like this was alt season, and now I kind of think Bitcoin either chills around here or we get a bounce to around this like mid 50s level. And if we do this, I don't want to trade Bitcoin at all. I don't really want to trade alts at all other than shorting bounces. Because if alts are going to be weak compared to Bitcoin, there isn't really a reason to trade them unless you're shorting. Because during bounces, Bitcoin will perform better, and during nukes, Bitcoin won't drop as much. So if you want to short alts, I think that's fine. I just don't think alts are quite as clear to me right now, and so I'm focusing on Bitcoin and Ethereum more. As soon as they do become more clear again, we will be going back to the normal format of looking at like 10 alts every stream. Also, something I wanted to talk about from last week was this inside week failure that we were looking for, and that was pretty much like the long signal that we got around 31 to 33K. We had this inside week right here, which was fully within this one, wick to wick. This wick high and wick low is all within the previous candle. And I said in one of the recorded videos I posted probably from last Tuesday that we want to see a move below this 33K low and then reclaim it. And that is our long signal. That's our inside week failure or fake out. And then we would expect us to push up for the rest of the week. And that played out pretty much perfectly. But now we've taken this high and we've also taken this high. That's that 40.9K swing high, this one right there. So now that we've kind of taken those two objectives, my bias goes back to thinking we push down. And I think this 33K region would be a no-brainer long. That's a nice 4-hour demand right on this low. We'd be taking out all the stops from here. So that would be a nice setup. Watching with food, it's basically a movie and Kaz is the main character. I hope it is helping. All right. So, I guess that's pretty much it with Bitcoin. I do think down before more up, but if this does break above 41K, then we'll look to play it up to like 46, maybe 50. And if we do break down, which I lean towards, then I will be looking for longs around 36 and again at 33 if 36 doesn't hold. And when I say 33, I'm kind of just rounding because I mean this whole section. Let's look at the daily really quick. Yeah, it really just looks like a range to me. Like, yes, this is a strong move, but so was this one, and so was this one. So it's like you can have strong moves to either direction in a range. The daily was beautiful after sweeping that low. Beautiful daily close, and then just ripped. So the price action has honestly been pretty clean, and I've been able to find a good amount of success being a little bit more passive, just entering some higher time frame trades and letting them ride. So we're going to look to just keep doing that, keep trading the range, and not get too chopped up around the mid-range. Or actually, that's exactly what we want to avoid. So that pretty much sums it up for Bitcoin. Also, I think it's kind of interesting. So you guys know from this chart, well, not necessarily this. This is where I drew it. But we had this triangle here. And as you guys know, I posted I was looking for a little fake out to the downside and then push up. Because Bitcoin loves to have these like really nice triangles and then fake out of whatever direction, because that just traps a bunch of people. So I think we kind of just had another one of those, right? We have this triangle right here, fake out to the upside, break back below, and then I think this continues down a bit. So, all right, any questions about this specifically? This level has kind of been tested a bunch of times, so I think once that gives away, you could enter a short with more confidence, but the invalidation would still be here. And if we lose this level, I think you short with a stop there and just ride it for the rest of the week. Did I close my longs? Yes. Will you make it, Democryptus? I think so. What about BTC pairs? Why is BTC going down but the pair isn't going up? Well, let's think about it. So if I don't want to do ETH because it's kind of LTC, BTC. So this is literally just a ratio between Litecoin versus Bitcoin. So if Litecoin is stronger than Bitcoin, the BTC pair is going to go up. If Bitcoin is stronger than Litecoin, the Bitcoin pair is going to go down. And the same is true with every single alt, but because we think Bitcoin dominance is going to push up, that means we think Bitcoin is going to be strong compared to just about every single alt. There might be some outliers, but if that's the case, the BTC pair is just going to be a worse version of, well, not necessarily a worse version, but if LTC BTC is going down while the USD price of Bitcoin goes down, Litecoin will just go down harder. And if LTC BTC is going up, if LTC BTC is going down while the USD price of Bitcoin is going up, the USD price of Litecoin will just go up slower. So when alts are weak, it's better to short them, or it can be more profitable, I guess, to short them. But right now, I just think the price action is more clear to me on Bitcoin. But yeah, I close my longs. Love you, no homo. With this short, are you looking to compound around the monthly open? That's probably where I would want to take some off, because we have this cluster right here, and I think it could be support if we push up there. I'm kind of seeing the exact same pattern on the daily. So let me do this. We'll do a little drawing. So we had this daily breaker, whatever you want to call it. We pushed up above it and then retested that daily level, and it held, and then we pushed up from there. And now I'm seeing the same exact thing right here. So pretty much one of the same exact levels, and it could just do this. Although I think we go down deeper, we have to be aware that this is indeed daily support. So that's something that we have to look out for. So I would want to keep an eye on that level as we get closer, and you can see that level is basically right where the monthly open is. So if we lost that level, like broke down like this, then you could look to compound there, but I would much rather just lock in profits around the monthly open. So to compound, I think either you need to lose the mid-range and do a little retest like that without sweeping the low first, because we could just sweep the low and push up from there. So Monday's low and the monthly open is where I want to book some profits. If we break down and don't sweep the low yet and push up here, you could look to compound there. Or if we break down from here and kind of front run this level, I think you can look to compound, something like that. What kind of confirmation do I look for when longing the bottom, like at 31K? Honestly, I wasn't looking at specific confirmation. I mean, this daily close, I guess, could be called confirmation if you want to call it that. I think confirmation is a funny word because it implies certainty. But confirmation, like the way we use it as traders, is just like increases the probability. I've always thought that's kind of funny. This daily close was one of the big clues, but basically, I just wanted to see us take out this low. It did go a bit deeper than that. We kind of took this one too. And I was just playing with a wider stop until I was more confident the low was in. So when we swept this low on the hourly, that's when I entered a initial position, but that one was kind of early because quote unquote confirmation would be above this dotted line because that's this key low. So I started building a position here with a pretty wide stop. I don't remember if it was right at 29. It might have been at like 30 something. Anyway, we swept that low. To compound, I would have wanted to see it go straight up to there. It didn't happen. I went to bed, woke up, saw this candle right here, and saw that we tagged the other low. And I was like, okay, I'm going to add some more here. Bought some more there. Then we ripped, closed the daily candle right up there, formed some demand, and pushed away. Unfortunately, we didn't retest this because I think that would have been a omega long opportunity. But once we broke out of here, once we broke above this consolidation, I moved my stop loss up to the low. And then at that point, my average entry was like around here at like 32. Stop loss was there, so I was pretty comfortable with that. I wanted to compound and add more with the tighter stop right here instead of having the really wide one. However, it pretty much just was going vertical. So didn't really get a chance to. Took profit right on this candle at the monthly open. Sat out for this whole thing, as you guys know from the update videos, and was looking for a leg down, flip the weekly, and then that gives us a higher low that can be the new confirmation level. Sorry, the new invalidation level, not confirmation. Why would that retest be an omega long? For me, it would have been an omega long for a couple reasons. One, we just closed a super bullish daily candle, so that for me was like, okay, I think the low is in right here on that candle. We just took out this low, closed above it, really bullish candle. Zooming in a little more, this is where our 4-hour demand was. I think I posted that after this leg. So when we did this candle right here, the one I'm hovering on, I knew that a lot of buying took place in here. And even after this candle, like something like that would have been perfect because of the confluence. So all the confluence that we had there, this low, really key low, 4-hour demand, and being quite convinced the low is in here following that daily close because of how bullish that was. I mean, it would have been the type of setup I probably would have taken with some more risk like this, targeting that high. Like that would have been a setup that I was very, very confident in. I had limits in and I was bummed out when we front ran it, but that was a awesome setup. And I still think that's a legitimate setup. Like I'm still going to look for something like this. It's just happening a lot later. And so all the people who were so bullish, well, not right there. All the people who were so bullish right here, really wanting to long that level, are now going to forget about how bullish they were. And when price gets back down to that area, they're going to be bearish and we buy it. So I'm still looking for something like this. I don't have my limits in. But if we start losing some levels, I'll put the limit orders in to buy that. I just like the confluence around that level. So we're still looking for something like that. Would a flush to below 30K scare you from longing? 32K support could be considered a week after so many attempts. Not necessarily. I mean, I would get stopped out of this 33K buy, but if we take out this low, that would be an awesome long setup. Basically the same thing as right here, and this low would be this with this low. And it wouldn't scare me because my expectation still is that we just keep ranging. So I would look for longs there, targeting 42K. So I would actually be pretty excited about that. You know, the perfect scenario would be if we drop from here into this demand, come back up here for these highs, and then now we've taken out all the liquidity from the top, and then not in a straight line obviously, but over like a month, just come all the way down to these lows, take those out, and maybe we formed some lower highs here the whole way down. And then after we take out all those stops, you flip this low and target all these new highs. All right. So that's kind of what goes through my head when playing ranges like this. Can you check Doge? How much lower can it go? Well, you're probably not going to want to hear this, but Doge is a meme coin and it can go to 0. And you'll probably stop listening to the stream because I said that. But we have this range from a while ago. So if it loses this 22 cent level, I will be shorting Doge to 7 cents. I'll be shorting Doge to 7 cents. And then if it loses this, I will be shorting Doge to less than a cent. All right. But how low can Doge go? I don't think it's crazy for Doge to go back within this range, because it has no use. And yeah, that's pretty much why. So I'm sorry if that looks scary. Would I short now if I didn't enter earlier? Probably not right this second, but I think you could soon. Like, the best entry was on this hourly close. And if you're targeting Monday's low as a first target, this just isn't the most ideal setup. So I would probably either wait for us to break below here and then retest it, because then I'd be more confident that we're dropping down, because right now you're shorting it on support, right? So I wouldn't want to enter a short on support with a bad risk to reward. So I would want it to break down, bounce up to the mid-range. This support would hopefully now be resistance. And if we do get that breakdown, I'd be more confident that we go to the lower targets. So if you're not short already, I would look for a setup like this, 1.9R there, and then down to there for just about 3R. That's how I would probably look to compound or add a first position if you're not in yet. At what point would you go from this is a sweep of the lows to we're going down? Probably like 2 daily candles. Well, actually, I would be concerned if we closed a daily candle below 30K. Not concerned, but I mean, look how many lows we have here that are just unswept. So I don't think it's crazy to think that we come up here, take all the liquidity, and then later come down, take all the liquidity, and then range, go up. Doesn't need to necessarily go quite that deep. I mean, and if it does, I think it would be a wick like this one, where this spikes down, takes out every single stop loss in this area, and then within the same daily candle gets bought back up to like 32K. Not necessarily expecting that, but I think if we got that, I'd be pretty confident saying the low is in for the next leg up. But yeah, that's kind of my short idea. We're sitting right on support. So, I mean, theoretically, this could just come back up here and then go down. So I wouldn't want to, like, if you entered a short right here and then it starts to bounce back up here and you're underwater and it gets close to your stop loss, you'd probably start thinking, okay, it's going to come up to this level, I'm going to cut my short and then get back in up there, and then that's when it's going to do something like this. So not only is entering a short right here bad, I mean, is it like on support, but I also think it could just lead to making a bad emotional decision later. All right, let's see. But yeah, I think a daily candle would give us a lot of insight as to whether something's a sweep or not. Also, look how ugly this 12-hour candle is. Oh, that's interesting. So you guys remember how we were talking about this inside week failure, where we had an inside week, the next one swept one side and then pushed in the other direction? Look at this 12-hour. Inside candle, sweep the top of them, and then push in the other direction. It's a pretty nice setup, because everyone thinks, okay, we've been consolidating, whichever way it pushes is going to be the direction we go, traps all the breakouts, and then they go down. I mean, it's literally this thing that I draw all the time, but just zoomed out, right? So let's say this is your daily close, sick dotted line. We sweep this could be better. I'm going to use a different color. Actually, let's use one of these. Here's one daily close. Here's the other daily close. There's our inside candle, and I mean, it would be like this, and then you get the sweep of both of them, and then push down. So this like triangle fake out is literally just inside candle failure, right? Because here we consolidate, we take one side and then go down. But you can look at it like this, where we consolidate, take out one side, and then go down. So that's kind of a fun little tidbit. I guess it's probably worth looking at Ethereum. I don't have too much more time. This is old. We were looking here to get above that, but then nuked down. Honestly, this played out beautifully because we've been looking at this untapped Monday's low for so long. And when I longed Bitcoin here, I didn't long Ethereum because it didn't take out that low. But then ETH BTC started being weak, took out that low, and now it gave a really nice bounce off the low. So we were talking that up in a bunch of videos. I don't think I talked about it in the most recent one before this because I wasn't necessarily expecting it to come down there, because like this was the low Bitcoin made right here. So I didn't think they were going to diverge like that, so I didn't talk about it, but oh well. And now we're kind of at the mid-range from that original range, but it could be drawn like this instead, or like this. Anyway, nice sweep of that low, pushed up, but I still kind of think this comes down. So you can see this kind of does look similar to Bitcoin, where we formed our Monday's range, took out the high, retested the range high, and now we are kind of losing the mid-range. I'm honestly just more interested in trading Bitcoin than Ethereum because it looks a bit more clear to me. However, if we do come down and like take out this low while Bitcoin goes down to 33K, then I think that would be a nice long opportunity if we get this. Doesn't really have to happen. I'm honestly not even trading Ethereum right now. I'm literally just focused on Bitcoin because I don't think alts have been as clear. Actually, also Sol. I've been trading Sol, and I'll talk about that in a sec. But the video from Thursday, the Sol long plan, played out perfectly. So you don't think now is the ideal time to short? I think you're $1,000 away from the ideal entry. Like it would have been this candle right after that sweep, but now if you're targeting here, it's not the most ideal risk to reward. Like you could theoretically enter this targeting the monthly open, but I feel more confident that we go down to the monthly open after this SR level is lost. So I would rather short a retest like that and then go down. Although it's the same entry, I think the probability of going down is higher if we lose this SR level and then get just a quick like wick retest and then down. So that's kind of how I feel. Let's talk about Sol quickly, and then I got a bounce. Hasn't quite hit the target. I actually would trim some off here if you are in this. But it got close. Close to stopping out. But it would not have. Target was this, but it's sitting at like 1R, or did when it hit Monday's mid-range resistance and the breakdown point. But this was a long I talked about in the last video, or on Thursday, I guess. I think it was Thursday. Maybe it was Tuesday, like a week ago today. No, it wouldn't have been. It would have been the Thursday one, the 10th. Because on the Tuesday episode, I talked about how we longed Sol here and took profit up there. But so we had this sweep right into 4-hour demand, creates a nice invalidation level. I was looking for us to retest this cluster in general. And while that level didn't give the most beautiful reaction, it eventually did hold. It retested this low right here. And that's why you put your stop loss at the invalidation. Pushed up from there and then started giving us some bullish market structure and pushing higher. I took profit on all of this at 41. So I'm not in this anymore. Closed it for like 1 hour. It is what it is. Spent most of the trade underwater, which is kind of a bummer, but it was a good lesson in patience. But I just wanted to update that because I try to update all the setups that I talk about on this stream. If we do push up another leg higher, I like a sweep of this level for a short. So looking for that if the market does take another leg up. I hear you talk about Monday's low a lot. Is it coincidence that you're referring to Mondays, or is Monday always / typically a significant level? I think Mondays are significant not only because they are swing points, but it's the first day of the trading week, and so it kind of sets the tone for the week. And I also think there is initial liquidity there. Like before this all played out, anyone who was shorting in this region had their stop loss at this high, or anyone longing around here probably had their stop loss at the low. So pretty much any high of the day or low of the day could be significant, but I just have found Mondays specifically, Monday's high and low work the best, not only because they're swing points, but also beginning of the week. I'll look at ETH BTC and then I'm gonna call it a stream. Got a good amount of people watching, like 160 people for the whole stream today, so that's been pretty sweet. If you have enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like. We try and hit 100 for every stream. All right, so we're kind of in the middle of nowhere for me right now, but it does kind of look like we are switching over to some bearish market structure here. So quick rundown on these levels. We have these highs right there that are still untapped, and then SR level right here and right here. From the weekly time frame, it kind of just looks like ETH BTC is consolidating. You can kind of see the makings of a triangle right there. You can probably see more of it if we zoom out. Kind of looks like it's just consolidating in here. So nothing like super actionable right now for ETH BTC, but this was a pretty, I don't know what time frame I want to look at, pretty violent breakdown, and now it looks like we've just put in a lower high. I think you could look for bounces in this around the weekly SR after sweeping this low, and if that doesn't hold, I really like this level right here. Because it's kind of the, whoa, there's a level in there. This whole region, I would say, was really significant. It was the high right here, demand right there, support kind of had a little fake out there, but then here it was resistance the whole time, resistance here, resistance there. So from a weekly perspective, I honestly think the chart looks good if it pulls back to here and then goes up. So during this period of time, if I'm right about that, I want to not be longing alts. Sometimes you can use ETH BTC as an indicator for alts because it's kind of the biggest one. If ETH BTC is nuking, I don't expect any altcoins to do particularly well other than a few outliers. But if we do get this retest of that 0.043 level, then I'd be interested in looking at alt longs and also converting some Bitcoin to Ethereum if we do get that pullback. Other than that, I'm kind of just being patient with this guy. So we'll see what happens. a little under 2 hours till the daily close. We might get a nice little push here. I mean, it really is just consolidating. So if it goes up, it'll stop me out and we will reassess. I spoke about basically every scenario I'm looking to play at the beginning of this video, but you know my bias for now. Yes, you can get a Bybit deposit bonus. I forget the exact number, but if you DM me on Twitter, I can figure it out for you and then help you out if you need it. But I do think Bybit is a great spot to be. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll be live again on Thursday, and I will be updating you all in the meantime on Twitter and through Telegram. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up and consider using that Bybit link. It really does help me in terms of making sure Bybit continues to sponsor these streams. So that's pretty much it. We will talk soon. Feel free to reach out if you ever have any questions, and I will do my best to get around to them. But appreciate you all for being here. Had a good time. Sorry for the rant, but hopefully you found some benefit from it, and don't forget to mute some of those people on CT. Just for more. Talk to you guys soon.